So this video is basically a message to a couple groups of people. One is the people who are young. So if you're like, I don't know, between 16 and 21 years old and you don't own a home yet, then this message is for you. Second group of people will be people who just can't seem to get ahead, just find that they're always, just paycheck to paycheck type of situation, no matter how old you are. And the third group is the people who just want to get out of renting and get into home ownership so that they can start building equity, at their own pace, not at the pace of helping landlord get rich. So what we'll be talking about is money management, budgeting, and getting into the right mindset, because this is really what it's about. So first and foremost, it all starts about proper money management, proper budgeting. If you are one of these people that gets a paycheck and goes and drinks on the weekend, that's a problem, okay? Why is that a problem? Well, it's only a problem if you're trying to get ahead, okay? This is, like I said, this video is helping you to get ahead, to stop renting, to start making some money, to get into home ownership. And if you don't start your paycheck with budgeting, then good luck. Obviously, it's not working out for you. So you're watching this video, okay? Now, let me tell you this. When it comes to budgeting, it's not just about making sure you're not overspending. It has to do with cutting back drastically. And trust me, this is something that nobody wants to hear. And the reason nobody wants to hear it is because the people who are listening to this are the ones that have this problem, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the solution. So if you're bold enough to address yourself and your situation right now, right this moment, for this video, let's do it. Let's talk about what extreme budgeting means. First and foremost, food. Okay, it's about cutting back your expenses. So food is like a huge expense that we carry. And I know that a lot of people like to go out to eat for 1 to 2 meals a week, maybe 5 meals a week, even if it's like the McDonald's dollar menu, which doesn't exist anymore, but even if it's like cheap stuff is what I'm saying. People like to do that. But if you're trying to get ahead, stop it. But even before, because that might not apply to you, what you really want to do is you want to start tracking your expenses. And your expenses are to be categorized from highest to lowest every month. So let me give you an example. Take like your mortgage or your rent, okay? That should be the highest expense that you have. That's number one on the list. The second one might be a car payment. And then the third one might be your car insurance payment, or maybe your food is higher than that. And then car insurance payment. And you just like write down line by line from highest to lowest. And you get the most results, the most bang for your buck, no pun intended, by addressing the highest amounts. So if your mortgage is like $2,500, what can you do to bring it down? Bring that down. I know you might be in a lease, that's cool. Just make plans to get out of that mortgage. Or I'm at rent. Make plans to get out of it. Get this lowered as low as possible, because the more impact can be made, the better it'll be for you to do this extreme budgeting. And the budgeting is only for a short time. It's not like you have to do this forever, okay? So addressing the largest dollar amounts will yield you the largest results. So rent, that might be number one. Second one, car payment. Now this is a huge one. I've talked about this many times. I don't know if you know, but in the United States, the average car payment is over $500 right now. And that's just for, leasing the vehicle or the payment on the actual loan amount. So this is another one where a big impact can be made by simply changing out your car. And extreme budgeting, once again, goes into being extreme. So what would that look like for you? If you're in a big city, ride the bus, ride the metro, ride the subway, whatever it is, right? If you're in a more rural area or like in the suburbs, yeah, sure, you need a car. So what can you do? And look up, the 100 cheapest cars in your area and start looking at getting one of those and getting rid of your current car. Now, I did a really good video on cars and reducing your car payments. So that might help you, you know. But basically, people are like, and I even hear it from people that are very close to me, because I just had this conversation with somebody where they have a car that's about to die, and you know, there are cars for under $7,000 in my area, cars with under 100,000 miles. Now, they might not be fancy, they might be, you know, kind of, the paint might be messed up or something, but like, look, you want to buy a house, go extreme budgeting, and that means no car payment, or a very, very low car payment for a short amount of time. So even if you have $2,000 put down as a down payment, and then you take the loan on the remaining $5,000 on a $7,000 vehicle, you know, you can pay that off in like 1 year maybe, right? Just make $500 payments, which is the average of what payments are anyway. And then obviously with a cheaper car, your car insurance will naturally go down. So that's another huge one. But then let's get into food, because this is a huge, huge, huge expense. By the way, if you like my videos, if you have anything cool to say, drop a comment. Please like it, please share it. Anything you can add of value to our viewers, they would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it. Please like it, whatever it is. I really appreciate all your support, guys. And let's get back into this. So extreme budgeting really takes a big role in your life when you want to achieve big goals in your life, because you can talk to, you know, a lot of people who are very wealthy, who have made it, and none of them are going to say that you're going to get to riches by living paycheck to paycheck. Literally, nobody will say this ever. So what is the alternative to living paycheck to paycheck? And that's really having extra leftover money from your paycheck. And let's just say you go through this exercise. You write out everything that you're spending money on and align it from highest to lowest on a monthly basis. What then? Well, all you have to do, start eliminating, and then you have a little surplus. And I know that it takes a lot of money to buy a house. Buying a house has not only a down payment component, but also has a component of the closing costs. And when you start adding this stuff up, I'm telling you, it's in the, you know, at least $10,000, probably closer to 20 to 30 when you get an FHA loan with a 3% down payment, 3.5% down payment, I should say. So you still need quite a bit of money. So you need to start saving your money. And what I recommend to be super, super safe, okay, is take any kind of leftover money you can get. So let's just say you reduce your rent from $2,000 to $1,750. This is going to cause a $250 per month surplus. Take that $250, put it in a high yield savings account. That's going to give you 5% per year, a little less than 0.5% every single month. Well, that's an APR. On an APY, that's about 5.2%. So it starts adding up, okay? And if you just compound that, keep adding and adding and adding, great, that's $250 a month. Then you change your car out from your $400 monthly payment to maybe a $225, okay, and another $175. So what you do is you keep living paycheck to paycheck. That's the whole thing about extreme budgeting, is you're not actually you know, getting ahead in a sense. All you're doing is, well, at least it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you're still broke because you're spending every dollar you got, you know, but you're not spending it, you're investing it this time around. You're doing it a little bit different, a little bit better. So now you're going to be in a position where it's going to start adding up, and the real benefit is when you start seeing the free money pile up, the interest payments start piling up, and it will naturally motivate you. I'm telling you, you're going to get so motivated once you start seeing the you know, first maybe 25 cents, then $3, you know, then $15, and it starts adding up, and you realize real quick that it's just free money. It's free money, all of it, all that interest is free money. And so this is the first step, extreme budgeting, going into savings, into a high yield savings account, producing free money. Now the next thing, and listen, before I get into the down payment assistance program, because that's the next thing, let me talk to you young folks real quick. If you're like 16, 17, 18, look, I got a kid, he's 17. I have another kid, he's 19. Both of them, one of them works, the other one is finishing up high school. Both of them have a mindset of acquiring and, getting ahead, going forward in life. The real dilemma that I see them and their friends facing has to do with an image to upkeep. The image of social acceptance. Now let me tell you something, nobody else matters. All of that social friendship crap, that's all bullshit. You don't need any of it. Your family is all that matters. They're the only ones that might be by your side when you need help. Friends won't be. When the times get tough, I'm sorry, but you'll realize, and look, maybe that was, just what I think. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe you have, friends for life, blood brothers, shit like that. But honestly, I don't think so. I think that all that matters is family. That's who's going to be around when you're ready to make a big change. And those are the people that will support you. So if you want to make a big change and get into home ownership, start and investing into real estate. I started investing at 22 years old, guys. 22. That's not far. You know what I had to do? I had to save money. I had to freaking sell my car and ride my bicycle to work for 9 months while I saved up enough money and I saved up enough down payment. And I didn't get a down payment assistance program. They didn't have those when I was buying 3 years ago, or whatever that was. I had to deal with the current status of things, but I did do something really cool, which was closing cost credit. So I'll get into that in a second. But first, let's get into the down payment assistance program, because I don't know about you, but I love free money. And if you don't love free money, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but I do. And there is actually a whole bunch of free money available for you. Now, it's not for first-time home buyers, officially. They do say it is, but then the way they define a first-time home buyer is kind of interesting. It's anyone who hasn't owned a property in the last 3 years. So that might be you, okay? Especially if you're, 19, 20 years old. So this is a program that really makes the down payment affordable. So it requires you to save like close to half as much money as you would regularly need to buy a home, okay? So if you know nothing about this, look up DPA, which is Down Payment Assistance, DPA, and then look up FHA, which is Federal Housing Authority. They have loans available with 3.5% down payment, but you can get a down payment assistance program for up to 3%. So now you have to come up with 0.5% of the purchase price when it comes to your actual down payment. And you do have to take a little course, and it's like super easy, just half a day. And then it's just basically about financial education and the expenses of owning a home and so on. So get into researching a little bit about this stuff so that you can get the down payment almost completely covered. And then you can get the seller credit. And what does that mean? Well, on an FHA loan, you can get up to 6% of the purchase price contributed back to you by the seller. And why would a seller do this? Well, basically to sell the house, okay? They're just looking at the bottom line, how much they're gonna make. So if you offer them a little bit more money with a little thing that says, hey, you're gonna pay me 6% at closing towards my closing costs, which is exactly what I did, by the way. I was able to buy a house, and this was a long time ago, prices were different. But my first place was $1,650 out of pocket. I had a closing about, maybe 5 years ago. And Josie, she ended up purchasing a property with something like $5,000 out of pocket. It was the best decision she's ever made, okay? Well, maybe having a child was a better decision, but she still loved that decision. So when it comes to making it happen, you just have to research a little bit. You have to find out what's out there and then do the work, okay? Now, you will need to have a pretty good budget. You will need to have almost no debt whatsoever. And you will also, meaning credit card debt, car loan debt, anything like that. And then you'll also need to have a job. So for about 2 years of having income, hopefully it's a W-2 job. And if you have that, then you'll start qualifying for a loan. The qualifications is about how much money you earn, how much money you're paying taxes on. So if it's a W-2 job, it's a lot better of a position that you'd be in. But if it's a self-employed job, that's not going to put you in a position when you're self-employed, because most self-employed people, what they do is they end up writing off absolutely as much as they can. And what do they end up with? A $0 tax bill, or a very low dollar amount tax bill. So you don't want to do that, although it sounds very attractive. It sounds like what you do want to do. Not if you're trying to buy a house, not if you're trying to buy property or investment property or anything like that. So I know I just said a lot, and I have a question for you. What question do you have about this? I'd be glad to email you resources, send you information, have you talk to the right people if that's what you need to do. I'm here to help, and I know that maybe right now is not the time to buy, but even if it's not the right time to buy for you, why don't you just prepare yourself for financial success? I'm telling you right now, the most money I've ever made hasn't been through real estate sales, although that has been pretty good. It's been through real estate appreciation, real estate mortgage pay down that my tenants are doing, and then of course flipping real estate. When I find a really good opportunity, I need to be in that financial position to buy, and then, you know, put some paint on it, fix a few things up, and then relist it or something like that. But it all starts with extreme budgeting, just like I mentioned in this video at the very beginning, because the extreme budgeting is what's going to get you to be in a position to qualify for loans, okay? Yes, it's about your credit score, but you know that that's only the second most important thing. The most important thing is how much money do you bring in? How much money do you pay taxes on? And the qualifiable income, that's what you want to be looking at. How much qualifiable income for loans do you actually have?